and welcome back. After successful flights, multiple successful flights with this aircraft, we've decided to do a few extra things to it. And one of the things I did at the field that I wasn't able to film was try the Flaperons, and they work pretty well. A Flaperon is an aileron that also is a flap. And so I'll demonstrate what it looks like on the airplane, then I'll show you the programming on the DX7 radio.
Flight pack 6.4 volts.
So if you watch the aileron right here, right there, the flaps are up.
Takeoff flaps.
That's takeoff flaps.
Landing flaps.
That's landing flaps.
Takeoff flaps.
Takeoff flaps.
Flaps up.
Flaps up. Okay. Okay, so what's happening? You can see if I turn left or right, that aileron is going in the proper direction. So if I put in takeoff flaps, it does the same thing, but just at a lower angle to begin with. And the other aileron, both sides are going down. Full flaps, you see you don't have as much control throw on full flaps, but you don't need that much because your steering at landing is quite a bit less. Needs to be, should be. Plus you can use the rudder if you need to steer just a little bit. So the other thing that you have to understand about Flaperons is when to put them down. I tried putting them down on final. Worked well. I tried putting them down just before I turned final on downwind. It worked well. Tried them in the turn. It worked well. So it's your choice. I'll just give you a word of caution. Make sure they're working well, that it doesn't cause you any unnecessary nose up or nose down or pitching or anything or rolling. So once you've tested them first at a high altitude, and they prove to be reliable, then you can use them for landing. And so I'm going to stop here for a minute, and I'll show you the programming for the DX7 radio and how you do Flaperons. Okay, I'm back, and you're looking at my NexStar radio. You can see I'm on mid rates. It's the NexStar number 2, and you can also see the default settings for the trim. Do have a bit of rudder trim in, do have a bit more of aileron trim in, slight amount of elevator trim, and I haven't taken those out. I may just leave them. The throws are okay. I could get them a little more neutral by mechanical adjustment of the airplane and maybe a little bit of sub trim. But I don't think I'll do that. I think I'll just leave it as is for now and enjoy flying it. So the first thing is for Flaperons. So you come down into System Setup and you go Aircraft Type, and it says Wing is Flaperons. And notice it has dual servos there for Flaperons. Let me check and make sure. One aileron, one flap. Yes, so Flaperons require you have dual aileron servos, and the tail is still normal. So with that setting, if you go back to the main screen, you'll see something called flap settings that wasn't there before. The flap system submenu only shows up if you have either real flaps or Flaperons selected. So what I ended up with after some testing is this. The flap system is on switch D. Switch D, I like it because it's right here. Okay, it's 3 position, which is what you want. And so So the switch is D. The speed is 4 seconds. In other words, it lowers them slowly. It doesn't snap them down. It takes 4 seconds for those flaps to take effect. So you need to put them down before or as you roll out on final, because they won't be down very quickly, because 4 seconds is quite a bit in an RC airplane. So I usually put mine on down on downwind just before I turn final. It also helps me stabilize the speed just before I start my turn. And but that's the 4 second delay you were watching. So position 0 is up. Position 1 is minus 40%, so the flaps are down minus 40% for takeoff, and minus 70%, I'm sorry, yeah, takeoff flaps or half flaps. And position 2 is 70% is full flaps. So you got half flaps, full flaps, or what you call takeoff or landing. You can refer to them either way. I did not need any elevator adjustment, but if you need some permanent elevator adjustment as the flaps go down, you can change it there. This airplane did not need any. And so that's the setup you're looking for. And so you can watch what happens. If I hit the button, watch the right and left aileron lines here and there, and you can watch them move down slowly.
Takeoff flaps. Landing flaps.
Okay.
Takeoff flaps. Flaps up.
And so that's it for flaps. It's really quite simple. It does slow it down. It probably makes a difference on a tight field between doing touch and goes and not doing touch and goes, because it slows it down quite well, and I'm able to land in the first half of the runway all the time. Let me show you one other thing, small change I also made concerning the ailerons is the differential. I went to position the differential of 45%, and I still have it on switch A.
Bank 0. Bank 1.
I'll probably leave it there, but it was 35%. I changed it to 45, and the turns were a lot smoother. So differential is now 45%. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next one.